Yo, yo, yo. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Dave Cooper and Jennifer. And this is an episode, I think this is episode 11, Building Modular. 11 episodes.
Thanks for sticking with us, everybody, and hello.
So we're going to have a very short show today. And, we figured, and probably you're better left to address this with so much happening in the world and what's happening right now. We're big believers in giving back. And we're big believers, and that's why we started this show, and just a free education on, building modular and all the other things and all the other content that we bring. So we just thought today would be a good day to just have a quick chat, see if anybody out there wants to ask us questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just kind of recap where we've been. As Dave mentioned, we started this series 11 weeks ago, and really we were inspired by an opportunity to give back to others. We've been doing this a long time. We've been in the modular construction business for a long time, residential, small commercial jobs. And we really wanted to include and create a very inclusive and opportunistic community where people could ask us questions, learn about modular construction, all of the wonderful advantages that modular construction offers. And this was our way to give back in a time that was pretty tough, right? We launched this at the start of the pandemic and really felt like there wasn't a whole lot that we could do in the world to make a difference at that time. And this was what we chose to do, a very little step in putting information out there, just, giving some resources to people who maybe didn't know where to turn. The response has been amazing, and we've had really,
thumbs up,
right? Yeah. And we've had some amazing questions coming from builders who have been interested in adopting modular construction, but really didn't know how to get started.
Right.
And we want to acknowledge all those people who want to make a change, who want to do things differently, who are looking to pivot and find a new way of doing something that they've been doing for many, many years, many of them with tremendous success. And they're looking to change, right?
They are looking to change. They really are, or from site building to modular, or just become better at modular. You said something though, we did start this at the beginning of the pandemic. What is the matter with us? It seems like all of our businesses, we start like at the time of when things get tough. Mm-hmm. We started a business.
That's right. We first started in 2008. Thought it was a really good idea.
Some other stuff.
Actually, those were really amazing times because we learned all about lean methods of construction the hard way.
Yeah, we did.
And how important checklists and all of that good stuff was. A lot of those lessons were learned the hard way. But during that time, we learned some amazing lessons as well. In fact, our conversation with Matt Daigle from Rise this past week.
That was a good conversation.
And
Friday.
Mark Willey. Matt shared his story about how he became interested in building healthy and remodeling healthy, sustainable homes. And it was at a time when his wife was pregnant. There were children on the way, and he recognized that he wanted to do things differently.
Does that sound familiar to you?
Yeah, and it's so funny. So many people have that story. When new life is on the way, when changes on big changes on the horizon, many of us, me included, you included, sort of wake up and say, we need a better way. We need a better path. And that's the theme of this conversation today, finding a better way, finding a better path, especially in light of everything that is going on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think sometime we're going to have to tell our story, because it is true. In 2008, when we started, one of our businesses, Modular, the market crashed. We just had twins, right? We weren't working together then. You got laid off, right? I mean, it was just a whirlwind of nightmare. But again, we made it through. We learned a lot, and here we are, believe it or not, and still building modular. How many years ago?
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah. But the amazing thing was that we had unbelievable clients at that time who really embraced modular construction and really together It's funny when you work with and for and together with good people, it's amazing what you can be inspired to do and overcome.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's why we started this whole series. We welcome everyone to ask questions and
Chime in.
reach out. Let us know what's going on in your world. We do have a couple of you joining us today, so thank you for that. But really, we're not going to get into too much detail today. Really just talking at a high level at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know, I think with everything going on right now, and I think for us, we decided based on what's happening in the world today, we're just going to push pause for a few minutes. And we're going to pick up with regular programming on Tuesday next week, which is going to be all about permitting. I think we have Rick Hawkins in there. Hey, Rick, give me a yes if you want to come on. I'll bring you on for a quick chat if you like. We're just going to try and keep this very high level, high brow, have a good time chatting. What did Rick have to say anyhow? Let me put this on here.
Yeah. But really, you know, again, this is just a reflection of sending out waves of kindness and compassion out there. So much happens at home. And so many families, I mean, that's the core of their life, their, their center point, if you will, right? Most people would probably agree that kitchen table has seen more secrets and heard more
Not
stories.
My kitchen table. I'm like a secret lives there.
Yeah, right. It's been pretty boisterous lately at our kitchen table. But, that is where life really begins, at home. Right. Whether it's, you by yourself and your pets and your plants, so much needs tending to. And there's so much that needs to be done in order not only just to create a healthy, sustainable home, but a place that's comfortable and safe for everyone who lives there.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what we build for, right? We build homes for people. So, Rick, I have what you have up on the thing. Interesting enough, many remodeling firms have an easier time adapting to the concept of modular since they start with a structure versus starting from the ground up. I mean, sometimes, absolutely. I mean, yes, let me put it to you like this. I agree that, modular additions can be a very good way to go depending on what it is, right? If we're doing like a modular ADU above a garage, which I think Audrey Gravesic was talking about today with, she had Bruce Thompson on today. So, or, if you take it down to the existing foundation and go from there. But, modular additions can get pretty tricky, right? Especially with the new code and depending how old the house is.
Yeah. And, Rick, the thing, though, about modular additions is what's the old saying? Measure twice, cut once. This is where planning and process really kick in because in our years out there, we've seen majorly successful additions. An example of that is the Good Samaritan set that Access Modular and ModLogic collaborated on.
You're right.
Incredibly efficient, fast, timely, in a moment in time where the world really needed that to be perfect. That was a well choreographed example of how an addition can come together so quickly. The flip side of that isn't always so pretty. There's a lot of planning that goes into place, and you really need to get your engineers involved and your the folks who are working on site because it's a bad day when things are off.
Well, it is, and typically with remodeling jobs, the walls aren't as straight as modular. Things settle over time. I mean, we've done a lot of second floor additions, on top of ranches or additions on commercial structures. But even tying into an existing structure, a lot of times you got to leave a gap and fill that gap in because nothing's straight. And even the hardest thing about doing a modular addition with an older structure is when you're bringing two units together, those roof lines, you're not getting them to line up no matter how hard you try. I mean, your math is just not going to make it happen. So that is something to consider as well. But if you're just going up, it's just a matter of making sure you're accounting for the weight loads. You got your plumbing, electrical, your main MEP supplies are able to get to where it is. And you want to make sure that the building official is not going to go, since it's X percentage of the house, now you have to update the entire house, which means you're ripping open all the walls.
Right. But there are people out there who are totally excelling in this area and being very planful in this area, like Brian Gaudio and the team at Module, where they design homes that are designed to grow with your family.
Well, that's it, right? So that's a big trend in modular right now in this push. And, a lot of the guys up in and girls up in Canada are doing the same thing. They're designing modular units that can be expanded in several different ways.
Exactly right.
And I think that's pretty amazing. Brian's doing the same thing where he can expand his units, removable roof systems and stuff like that. But that is a big trend. And I do think that trend's going to carry on, especially with the millennials, X-Gen, all that stuff.
Yeah. And we see that a lot in residential construction as well, where people they'll frame things out behind the sheetrock, right?
Yeah.
Either windows or doors or new entrances with an addition in mind. So that's the cool thing about any new construction can really do that. But while you're at the factory, you can frame out a window or door opening for future use.
For sure.
If that's what you're looking to do, is one day expand.
Yeah.
And obviously easy things like above the garage or the basement.
Have it set up for the future. I mean, we've done that so many times over the years where we'll design a structure, just put the headers and the doors in the wall, make sure factory doesn't run their wires and their plumbing through the access to where that's at. But you can plan for the future, and that's what's great about modular. And that's in general site construction as well. But we do spend a lot of time thinking about it up front.
Yeah.
So listen, if you guys are just joining us, this is a short show. It looks like we have, a dozen or so people out there today, which is awesome. I know there's a lot going on the world today. Like we were saying, we're just having a general conversation. If you have any questions on modular, ADUs, I don't even care if it's panelized, SIP, whatever. We're just going to take a few minutes. We're going to talk about those things, make sure we deliver something good to you today. But out of respect of everything that's going on in the world, we're just going to postpone our regular broadcast. And what are we doing next week anyhow, Jen? I think next week is all about inspections. What inspections do you need with a modular home?
Yeah, I mean,
this
is where, we do diverge a little bit about, from traditional on-site construction. And it's definitely one of the advantages in terms of moving quickly with modular construction. But oftentimes you do bump into building officials who have never inspected something built off-site before. So next week will be a little bit of a conversation in terms of what to expect, what inspections actually do happen, some of the things that we've seen builders bump into, and stories that builders have shared with us that were really rooted in the unknown, in the sense that the building official just wasn't as familiar with our process as maybe traditional site built construction.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Look at this, Sean. I'm doing it.
Oh no,
I'm doing it.
You always make me nervous. Yeah. So again, like Dave said, we're kind of pausing from today's normal programming, but we do want to be there for everyone because, one of my favorite quotes.
It's up there twice now.
Uh-oh. What did you do?
I invited you. So if people are watching and they want to jump on the show and give us a hard time, we're only going to be here for a few minutes. I put the invite to the link. So the link is in the comments somewhere down below, up above, to the right. So if somebody would like to jump in and join us for a quick conversation, Alistair Sawyer, come on, man. I just sent a link. We're having a quick show today out of respect to what's happening in the world, but we thought we'd have a little bit of fun because I think the world needs a little bit of fun today, right? I need a little fun. I always need fun. I got so much energy. I'm ready for the world to open up.
I know.
It's time to go and see people and just enjoy life.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. And I hope that when we all do emerge, we all emerge a kinder and gentler group of folks who are more patient, more understanding, and more open to new ideas like offsite construction.
Yeah, for sure. So Alistair put up my screen. Why is it so small today?
I know, we're really struggling over here. Sorry, everybody.
Will you discuss virtual inspection application software, internet-based, next week? All right. So this is a hot topic, and I have to tell you. So the virtual inspection application software, internet, through the internet, and I think I'm understanding you right, is tricky because some of the states have gone to a complete online permit approval and inspection process. Now, as far as what you're talking about with this software, the internet-based software for inspections, I'm going to need you to elaborate so I go down the right path on that. But it is going that way.
Yeah.
The problem is, like even in Connecticut, for the state to make a change for inspections, it has to go and get approved through the Congress or Senate or what have you. And it has to be an amendment to the librarian of the state on how paperwork is filed. It's a nightmare. You would think, oh, wow, we got this new program. It's going to make things easier.
Yeah. So what we're discovering is that each state has varying degrees of digital access and digital aptitude, if you will. Some states are definitely embracing, much like the medical industry did, the whole telemed process, right? They're finding ways to move forward and be adaptive. And not only is that amazing, it is going to be there's going to be such a tremendous need for that, because if housing does lead the charge in terms of the economic recovery, these building inspectors are going to be mad with inspections, right? They're going to be, if new construction really unleashes the way that some of the economists are saying that it will, oh my gosh, the whole offsite construction thing is going to be even more important, because you don't want to be on site waiting for an inspection. You don't want to be waiting for a building official to try to get to your job site, Yeah,
I mean, how many people out there love the fact that when you have an inspection, somebody has to sit there all day? And if you live in our world of past, there's days they just don't even show up. Oh, they got held up and then the clock ticked. You waste a full day waiting for inspection. So, Alistair, I want to learn more about what you're talking about to make sure we're on the same page. But I think, man, how cool would that be if the inspection process went online? Yeah. Wouldn't it be super cool if your building inspector could go to the job site and virtually dial you in like we do a Zoom call, walk through your project without you paying somebody to sit there all day to wait for that inspection and say, hey, I'm dinging you on this, I'm dinging you on that. And then when they ding you, here's my soapbox, then you can pull up the code book and say, show me in the code book.
Oh, gosh. Well, my opinion on that. You have to be very careful with the words that you choose to use during an inspection. But in any event, Alistair, not sure we'll be talking about this tomorrow, but we do have a software conversation coming up in tomorrow's show.
All right. We do. So tomorrow, just so everybody knows, is Jordy Puchinger from Modular, and they have developed a system, an internet-based or online system software for modular manufacturing.
Yeah.
Jennifer.
Yeah,
Jennifer.
I mean,
this is big.
Excited for this conversation, because it is a very hot topic across all entities of modular construction, right? And just knowing what I know from a previous background in terms of ERP and systems and even the limited exposure I've had in terms of modular construction, the software that's out there. This is a game changer. Yeah. This is a real game changer. So I'm looking forward to this conversation with Jordan.
Yeah. Jordy, not Jordan. Yeah. So Jordy, I love you. Wait till you see Jordy. Jordy has that. He has the crazy hair. I love it, dude. He's like a mad scientist, this guy. Super smart, well-dressed. Just some people have it going on, but really, really smart. And they designed this modular manufacturing software. So tomorrow is a big day. Definitely do not want to miss it. So Alistair, we can talk about what states are going online. And if anybody's watching, obviously we don't follow every state and statute. Let us know if your state and you're out there watching this and they are going online and they are doing internet-based inspections or internet or online digital permitting process. I think it's a big deal. Rhode Island is a state, believe it or not, of all states, Rhode Island adopted online permitting, which has been phenomenal.
Yeah, it really speeds up the process, and the record keeping is just phenomenal. So that's been a huge win in terms of our neighborhood that we're working in. And just in general, like when you think about these urban locations, these highly congested areas, when you layer in all of the complexities of new construction, and then you layer in traffic and how much time it might take to get from one job site to the next, forget it. It's a nightmare.
It is. It really is. And just the time it takes driving around, it's a waste of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's that archaic. So, all right, listen, hey, Anthony, what's happening, brother? I hope all is well with you. I did put a link in there today. If anybody has the guts to want to jump on with us, the links are in the comment. You click that and join our show for a few minutes today. But Anthony, I don't know if you were here in the beginning. It's a short show. We're just trying to be respectful of what's happening in the world. Let's see. We do have some other comments. It looks like Anthony's going back and forth with some things, and Rick Hawkins as well. Although the concept of building modular is relatively easily adapted, the complexity of individual state regulations make the application difficult. Dude, you are absolutely 120% correct. Not even 110.
I know, right? So this is something that we also touched upon with Devin Perry yesterday from the NAHB Building Systems Council, and what the Modular Mobilization Coalition is doing in terms of bringing a unified group together. This is something that we will need to address. I mean, it's a big topic to tackle, but these conversations are definitely happening.
They are happening, and just the process in general, not even modular, just needs to be changed. And I think being archaic is an easy word for it. I think I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Here, it was Anthony. Yeah, Alistair. Sorry, the norms are archaic, but there is hope. Anthony, just like your. So Anthony, this is we were talking like it's part of his therapy. Therapy is watching offsite construction stuff, whether it's us or us. And I said, oh gosh, we're both in trouble if that's the case, because that's my therapy too. I actually love it, but man, Anthony, it is archaic, and I think we're gonna try and navigate it. We didn't really talk about crossing the path of how we figure out what states are online or not. But I think we have enough pull. We could start putting it out there and take a poll. Why don't we take a poll? Let's take a poll.
I know, right?
Let's figure it out.
Yeah. And, again, in terms of tools and resources, something that we could leverage, Dave, is we could go to the heat map that the Housing Innovation Alliance recently published.
Heat map, yeah.
And we could kind of reach out to some folks who are listed on there and send that poll out. Now it's so easy to find co-conspirators in the industry thanks to that heat map. I mean, it's a game changer.
So I'd say once we're done with this show, I'm going to do a LinkedIn poll. I'll put it out there. I'll tag you guys real quick. And then let's follow along and see how many people jump on board.
Yeah.
What do you think? It's easy enough I think you can do polls in the LinkedIn questions.
Oh gosh.
One more thing to do.
I know.
Social media. Gotta love it.
You're armed and dangerous now.
Alistair, in New Zealand and Australia, we download the building consent approved drawings and use virtual hold points via video for inspections. Great. We'll listen tomorrow.
Cool.
Well, I would love to see that, actually. I've not seen that. So if you have somebody in New Zealand that would be willing to show us that and we could put that on, I think that'd be really cool. Even yourself, if you have the ability to do it and you have a project going, I think that would be a really fun thing to broadcast. Plus, they got great accents over there.
I know, right? It would be fun to take a sneak peek behind the covers of how this is happening elsewhere, especially in other countries who are so much further along than we are.
Yeah.
In terms of modular, we have so much to learn, and that's something that Jerry was talking about yesterday too. We have so much to learn from overseas and what's happening in different parts of the world. And it's just a matter of time. Alistair, you were saying that you have projects rolling in Florida, I believe. So we'll be seeing you on this side of the pond very soon.
I want a live stream from your Florida show. We're going to Florida soon. I think West Palm, hopefully not too long.
Yeah, it would be nice.
It would be nice. So, all right. Perfect. Anthony, Rick Hawkins, very true that institutional remodelers will adopt modular at a fast rate. You witnessed it at ResiCap. All right.
Right. Cool.
Be interesting to learn more of that. The hope is government agencies will mimic each other if they see results. Good to hear that Rhode Island has taken the first steps. Some counties in New Jersey too. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, at some point they're kind of forced into it, or we get rid of some of these old people that have been politicians and in there for years, and we changed how we do things.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even old people. It's really just old thinking. It's
nice
old schools of thought that we're looking to eradicate.
50 this year. I'm old.
Oh, please. And pulling together, because again, in fact, even for us, where building officials cross state lines, it is so much easier when the states that they're crossing lines for are, compatible in terms of how they do business. And like we were saying, Connecticut is still paper-based. Rhode Island has moved to a digital platform. So now all of these building inspectors who work in both locations are loving their gig in Rhode Island.
They really are.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. They can get so much more work done because they can view documents and everything and approve everything no matter where they're at.
Right.
So nice. Very cool. Thanks, Alistair. Appreciate you arranged for us. That's really cool. I think that would be a lot of fun. Lots of fun. So really appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Rick Hawkins, Anthony Good, lead AP. I guess Rick just likes you. Put your name up there. That's cool.
All good stuff.
That is all good stuff. All right, everybody. Listen. We really appreciate you taking a few minutes, jumping on with us today. Here's the rest of it. A couple more coming too. Anthony, the concept of building modular is relatively easy. Adapted, the complexity of individual state regulations make the applications difficult. Yeah. Roger that. Familiar with ResiCap single family rental efforts, would be interesting if they adapted panelized for their slab on grade efforts. Rick, so I mean, that's a big thing down in the South. Rick's in the South and, mm-hmm. north of Atlanta. And they do a lot of slab on grade. He has to deal with this all the time. And, Rick and I had a nice conversation last week, I think, Rick. Mm-hmm. I think it was last week. And we were talking a little bit about what he does. And, I mean, he's built stick, modular, commercial. I mean, just about everything. Yeah. And he's in a very price-driven market as well. Sure. And he has to choose wisely on what he's putting up. And I know Rick's a proponent of the build to rent.
Yeah. And here's the interesting thing. When you have that varied background, not every project is suitable for each type of construction. So when you have all of those feathers in your quiver, then you can pick out the right method of construction for that project. Yeah. Oftentimes people come to us and ask if they could use modular construction, and their site just doesn't really allow for it. But it could be built panelized.
Could be, yeah.
So, when you are familiar with all those different systems and especially being part of the Building Systems Council, when you have exposure to all those different systems, well, then it becomes a very easy solution.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I think it's the networking, no different than we do on here with all these guys and girls. I mean, I think it's a lot of fun. Yeah. Everybody gets to know everybody. That's how we all grow. That's how we go places together. All right. Well, listen, Anthony, you're welcome for your daily dose of therapy. That is just funny. We're going to get shirts, offsite therapy. Anthony, let's get shirts, offsite therapy. All right.
I don't even know what to say.
Rick Hawkins, thank you. Yeah. Hey, do you know that person? Francesca Cora. You know who that is?
I do. Dirt Diva Designs out on the West Coast. Award-winning designer and everything else. I mean, you should see some of the projects that she's doing. I love, in fact, it's a word that I just learned, Fran. I'm not sure if this applies to you or not, but it's called permaculture. I believe that's the word that Matt Daigle used, where you use indigenous plantings and native plantings to really
make the house and the land as one. It's almost like Star Wars, right? Like
So, and that's what you do out in California. You have to. You don't have a choice, and you've mastered that art. So thank you so much for joining us today.
That's such a cool name, Dirt Diva.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she rocks.
Dirt Diva, California. Yeah. So if you're in California, Jerry, and everybody else that's out that way, you need somebody who understands the final steps of building a house, which is the landscaping and the agricultural side of it. Dirt Diva is the place to go.
Yeah, super fun that you joined us today. And it's funny, Fran, you remind me of one of my favorite quotes that I had wanted to share earlier. But maybe I'll share it now.
She can jump in. Fran, if you scroll up through the links, there's a link up there. If you want to jump on the show, if you got it in you.
I know, right? Family. We talk about family. We talk about the importance of home and giving back and all of that stuff. Yeah. And something that, Mother Teresa, the Eternal Mother, one of her most famous quotes is, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. And that's what we love doing. We love building homes where people can go home and love their family, building gardens where people can go home and love their family. And it just seems like such a fitting thing to share today.
It is. It is very fitting. So, all right, Jen, nobody took us on coming on the show today. Were you scared? What's the matter? All we do is just run our mouths anyhow half the time, feels like. But well, hopefully we're entertaining to some extent. She hasn't hit the eject button on me yet, but I'm sure that's coming soon one day too. All right, Jen, I think it's been a fun show. I think we need to let everybody get back to their lives. You know, they probably don't want to sign off because they don't want to be rude.
I know, but no, we will sign off. But do join us tomorrow with Jordy and on Thursday with Miles for Increasing Influence, where it's all about building your personal brand and getting your story out there. Need a lot of good stories out there right now. And then Friday, we have Mark Willie with Building Science Fridays.
BS Friday.
I know, which could also be building systems.
So how did you not think of that?
I know.
We did this whole thing about BS Friday, right? What does BS stand for, you know? And then all of a sudden we launched BS Friday, Building Science Friday, and it has been magnificent, you know, as far as the amount of people and the fun and the synergy.
Yeah.
And then Devin I said Devin Perry, you know,
from NAHB.
From the NAHB, right. I asked him, what's BS Friday? Do you know what it is? He goes, building systems.
I know.
I was like,
our jaws dropped. But that's the beauty of these conversations. They offer different points of view and things that you never thought of before, even though they were so obvious and right under your nose the whole time.
I know it. Rick, I know you're going to offer your 2 cents another time and thumbs up to BS Friday. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for, oh, wait, there's Anthony.
Oh, no.
Yes, building systems, Jennifer. So, all right, listen. When we get on the show Friday, right, with Mark, and we say, "This BS Friday," everybody needs to start writing in the comments, building systems.
That
and
would
then
be funny.
If he's not listening right now, which he may not be, we'll bust his chops on the show a little bit because he loves his BS he loves BS Friday. So.
It's a very small chance that Mr. Willie is not listening right now. He seems to have his fingers in everything.
He must have like a crew of people that just watch shows and give him footnotes or whatever. Cliff notes. Isn't it Cliff Notes?
I know.
Yep. All right, everybody. I'm done rambling. You got anything else you want to add?
No, just share your kindness and your compassion out there, and we'll get back to building next week.
How come I'm always like no space and you got all this space every time?
I need lots of space. Plus, I like being close to you.
Well, we can still center ourselves. All right, everybody. I'm Dave Cooper.
I'm Jennifer Cooper. Thanks for joining.
This is building Modular, and next we'll be back next Tuesday, and we're going to talk all about modular inspections. Have a wonderful week, Anthony, Rick, Alistair, everybody that joined us. Francesca. Mm-hmm. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Bye now.